Hi, Mark asked me to introduce his latest work, The Power Broker, The Reality of the Martian Prophecy. Josie, why don't you continue?
The book starts 5 million years ago when Mars is destroyed by an event. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let the narrator explain.
The Martian sun raged.
A colossal solar flare, unlike anything in recorded history, erupted from its surface. Few Martians knew of the solar cycle, a cycle that occurs once every 5 million years. 75 million years ago, it was Earth's turn. Brushed by a similar flare which wiped out the dinosaurs, it was now Mars' turn. Now, this was not a mere solar storm, it was a cosmic tsunami. The Martian atmosphere, once very capable of supporting life on Mars with free-flowing life-supporting water, was all stripped away.
The once lush surface, home to a proud and ancient civilization, was bombarded by a stream of gaseous iron sourced from the sun, along with a heavy dose of lethal radiation. Their great cities, their technological marvels, their very history, all undoubtedly about to collapse from the sheer force originating from the sun, a technological marvel now deemed destined for extinction. 80 short days separated a thriving civilization from utter rubble. Faced with imminent annihilation, the Martians made a heartbreaking choice: abandon their homeworld. Their brightest minds, working feverishly against time, constructed 5 vast arcs, colossal spaceships designed to carry the remnants of their civilization to safety.
Hope, fragile and uncertain, flickered in the hearts of the desperate Martians as they boarded the arcs, leaving behind their beloved red planet. They ventured into the black void of space, searching for a new beginning. 4 of the arcs, all having hulls shimmering like a celestial diamond, set course for Alpha Centauri, a binary star system light years away. They sought a fresh start, a pristine world untouched by the tragedy that was about to rain down on a befallen Mars.
The last of the 5 arcs, smaller and more utilitarian, charted a different course. It aimed for a blue and green planet orbiting a familiar yellow star Earth.
This arc carried a different kind of hope. A hope rooted not in starting anew, but in observing, in watching the emergence of a new species and a new civilization emerge from the shadows. They hoped to eventually find kinship, a chance to rebuild their legacy by understanding and learning from another intelligent species. Of course, they fully knew that intelligent life on Earth would not be present for some time, but they were truly hopeful. As the Martian arcs disappeared into the vastness of space, the once vibrant Mars fell silent. Looking back on Mars, the inhabitants of the arcs watched in horror as a thriving planet was turned into a desolate wasteland, stood as a stark reminder of the awesome power of the cosmos and the fragility of life itself. Most horrific was the fact that the vast majority of Martians were extinguished along with all signs of Martian civilization. But even in the face of such devastation, the spirit of the Martians lived on, carried by those who dared to venture into the unknown. Their journey, fraught with peril and uncertainty, marked not the end of their story, but the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter written across the stars.
The journey to Proxima b in the Alpha Centauri system was fraught with challenges. The vast distances, the unknown hazards of interstellar space, the multi-generational life aboard the arcs. Most of the travelers knew they would never again see solid ground in their lifetimes, and the constant fear of failure weighed heavily on the travelers. Generations were born and lived out their lives within the confines of the arc, their hopes and dreams tethered to a distant star. Yet they persevered, driven by the same indomitable spirit that had allowed their ancestors to thrive on Mars.
The Proxima b expedition, a testament to Martian ingenuity and resilience, after hundreds of years of travel, eventually reached their destination. They found a world ripe with potential, a blank canvas upon which to paint a new future. The Earthbound arc faced its own set of trials. Their journey, though shorter, was no less perilous. They arrived in Earth's orbit, not as conquerors, but as refugees seeking sanctuary. They observed the planet, its continents teeming with life, its oceans vast and blue. But Mars, being further from the sun, was significantly colder than Earth. It is for this reason the Martians chose to find places to build settlements near the icy polar caps. But all of the life was primitive. There was no intelligent life on Earth 5 million years ago. They dreamed of someday witnessing the emergence of another form of intelligent, civilized beings. But it would be millions of years before humanity evolved from primates. There was a vision in a technological culture, but that has not yet evolved, and what was envisioned was a potential awaiting in the distant future. The Martians, their numbers dwindling after the arduous journey, knew they should not and could not impose themselves on this world.
They chose to live underground, in hidden caves, waiting eagerly for the emergence of an intelligent form of life, human civilizations to someday emerge from the shadows. It took almost all of the 5 million years since the landing on Earth for such a reality to take foothold. They established a hidden colony, a sanctuary which one day would be suitable to preserve their culture while observing, influencing, and learning from the to-be burgeoning human neighbors. They called this haven New Mars, a frozen environment surrounded by glaciers well off the coast of what would eventually be called Finland. The solid land jutting off the coast was given the name of Finlandal, a name that echoed the lost beauty of their Martian home. Over time, after many millennia, humans evolved and took possession of the land. Some Martians chose to venture out. These shape-shifting Martians chose to attempt to integrate into human society, their true identities concealed. Some Martians had the ability to shape-shift, and they from a distance observed the new human civilizations. Through telepathy, they shared their wisdom subtly, nudging humanity towards a path of progress and enlightenment.
The two Martian expeditions, though separated by vast distances, remained connected by an invisible thread of shared history and a common purpose: to ensure the survival and prosperity of their people. Their paths, though divergent, were ultimately intertwined, their destinies forever linked to the fate of both Mars and Earth. 5 million years have gone by. Humanity has flourished. The Martian community flourished but was most curious about the humans, especially a member of the Martian royal family, Ezekiel. Ezekiel chose to shape-shift and reside for a while in Finlandal. In the heart of Finlandal, a hidden oasis amidst the bustling human world, a love story unfolded. Queen Jocelyn, the wise and compassionate ruler of the Finlandal, was lonely without Ferdinand, the king of Finlandal, who was off for an extended period protecting the sovereignty of Finlandal. Jocelyn found solace in the arms of Ezekiel, who proved to be a brilliant scientist, but kept cloaked his real identity as a Martian scientist and a member of the Martian royal family. Their love, a beacon of hope in a time of uncertainty, blossomed into a powerful bond. From this union, a child was born, a child destined to bridge the gap between two worlds. They named him Jordan.
Jordan's birth was kept silent, for it would be easily discovered that Jordan was not the child of Jocelyn and Ferdinand. He carried the weight of two legacies. The Martian blood of kings flowed through his veins, and within his very being resided the potential to unite his people with the inhabitants of Earth. Ezekiel saw emerging powers within Jordan that had to be checked. Ezekiel went back to New Mars to check the ancient scrolls written by Almeida, and found it very possible that Jordan represented the fulfillment of an ancient prophecy, a prophecy whispered for generations amongst the Martian elders. It spoke of a child born under a rare celestial alignment, a child who would inherit the strength of Mars and the compassion of Earth, a child who would rise to become a beacon of hope for both worlds.
But fate, as it often does, had other plans. Ferdinand returned from his extended journey and learned of Jordan. Jordan learned of Ezekiel.
Ezekiel realized that Jordan was growing powers that could be dangerous to the citizenry of Finlandal, and Ferdinand could not be more pleased that Jordan would be out of his life. Jocelyn was not as pleased. Ferdinand and Jocelyn had two additional children, Edward and Isabella.
Isabella, Jordan's scheming and evil sister, exiled both Jocelyn and Ferdinand, claiming Finlandal for her own rule and imprisoning the citizens. Ezekiel first raised Jordan in a remote orphanage, and when Jordan became dangerous to the residents of the orphanage, Ezekiel trained Jordan in an off-planet space station the Martians affectionately called the 9 Circles of Hell. Jordan was mortified by the 9 Circles of Hell and questioned repeatedly why someone would build such a vile and disgusting place. It was cloaked from discovery, and should someone find their way into the 9 Circles of Hell, they would have no desire to remain there for 1 second more.
It is here that Jordan and Ezekiel spent 3 years to continue the necessary training of Jordan. trying to expose if Jordan was indeed the power broker written about by Almeida some 5 million years ago. Ezekiel became more convinced daily as Jordan proved to possess incredible skills both physically and mentally. Ezekiel was determined to prepare Jordan for the destiny that awaited. Ezekiel, convinced that Jordan is indeed the subject of the prophecy written 5 million years ago, poured all his love and knowledge into Jordan, determined to prepare him for the destiny that awaited. Jordan was convinced of a difference and a fate awaiting and endured the challenges, emerging victorious. The Martian royal family was in attendance at the end of the challenges within the 9 circles of hell. Now convinced that Jordan was indeed the power broker written about 5 million years ago by Almeida. The prophecy that Ezekiel was now convinced that Jordan satisfied brought questions of what awaited Earth. The prophecy contained text of the destructive powers that decimated Mars to rain terror on Earth if not unchecked. And the linchpin to protect Earth from annihilation was a being born 5 million years from the penning of the prophecy, a child of both Martian and human royalty. The fate of all life on Earth was held in the balance. It became Ezekiel's mission in life to ready Jordan for this role should the prophecy be true. But there was much to be done, and Ezekiel had no clue of what needed to happen to protect all life on Earth should prophecy become reality. Along the way, Jordan is assisted by others, 15 of the brightest minds on Earth and a shape-shifted being with the most extraordinary skills.
Follow Jordan on this path to discover the reality of the prophecy and to protect the Earth and all life on Earth from extinction. Finally, discover Jordan's new mission.
The book will be available on Amazon in March 2025.